I just want to take you through how I plan our trips away. So first of all, I accept that, you know, plans change and no plan meets contact and all that kind of good stuff, but I like to have a handrail to stick by to ensure that we go to all the places really to maximise our stay, to maximise where we visit in a certain area. So I do my research on you know, where to go in a certain country like Morocco, where you know, best places to visit in Morocco. Then I research further, then I go to about 4 or 5 websites that list the places that you should visit in Morocco, and then I do more research as another layer over that to go to places that are out of the way. I use YouTube a lot to research places to maximise our stay, and then once I've got a list of places that I want to go, I then do a bit more research just to make sure that list is as complete as possible, accepting that there will be other places that I've missed. And then I make a list of the places that we want to go, and then I plot them on Google Earth. And I plot them on Google Maps. And once I've plotted them on Google Maps, I come up with a route, basically. But to get us down from, in this situation, to get us down from, well, our house in Bristol down to Morocco, see at the bottom of the page here, it says UK ferry, which is the page it's on now. So basically that's £150 permitted, but we came across for 105, which was great. Then the next tab across, it's UK out. So basically this is the map of the roads UK out to get us to, it was going to be Felixstowe, wrong, it was going to be Folkestone, but that changed. Like I say, no plan survives, and we went from Dover in the end because it was cheaper. And then the next one across, it's Europe down. So I'm not quite sure if the GoPro's getting all this detail, but basically on the left hand side, it's the research I did with the locations, not so much based on where we want to go, but in this case I've told the Excel spreadsheet that we're going to come on to next, this one, to only allow us to travel for 200 miles a day, because 200 miles a day is enough for me to drive, and I don't want to drive any more than 200 miles. So basically I go back onto Google Maps, I find a location that we're coming from, say Calais, and then I plot the road which we're going to take to get us in the direction which we want to travel. Then I come to a point at the 200 mile point, in this case whilst we're travelling through France just to get to Morocco. At the 200 mile point I then go on to iOverlander, which I'm going to show you now. So this is Park for Night. I either go on to Park for Night or I go on to iOverlander, 2 fantastic websites, and then I look around that local area and then I find a place to stay. Now sometimes it's less than 200 miles, and I prefer it to be less than 200 miles. If it gets to 200 miles, instead of going over the 200 mile point, as you can see here, I always make it less than 200 miles. And it's a balance between making it less than 200 miles and getting to the location, you know, within time. So back to this map. So on the right hand side is the route, and again all done by Google Maps. So these are the legs, from one leg, as you can see, to another leg, to another leg, to another leg. At the present we are here in this location, Louvain I think it's called, and the next location is down by the Spanish border, and then we go round by Portugal. So I knew that we need to get through France, and I knew that we needed to get through Spain, but whilst we're going through Spain I also thought, why not go through Portugal, another country to tick off. So basically I came up with a route using the roads on Google Maps. I subdivided it between 200 mile legs, and then if it was up to 200 miles, I wouldn't go any more than that. I'd go less than 200 miles and then find a location to stay at overnight on iOverlander or Park for Night, and those two websites are really fantastic to look at. I've lost my Park for Night, but Park for Night as well is used as iOverlander. So back onto the map then. That's the Europe leg down. That takes us all the way down to Gibraltar. So this is the Excel spreadsheet that I was talking about. If you can't see it, over in the left hand column it says from, then it says to, then it's mileage. I get the mileage from Google Maps. If you plan a route on Google Maps, it tells you the mileage. That's the mileage. This is the maths restricting it to 200 miles. It says if I only want to drive 200 miles per day, so that's 192 miles, so that's 96%, 0.96% of the 200 miles. And this is the day, so this basically, this calculates the days. So each one of these days, you know, I take one day to do that. This blue box here is a non-travel day. So this is where we stay for the day, enjoy the local surroundings, explore, relax, do some maintenance, and just generally you know, have a rest basically. The Google Maps journey time is 4 hours for the first column, and you can see it goes down and explains how long the journey should take. Now this is going to be a minimum because I only drive at 15 miles an hour or 80 k's an hour in the motorhome, so this is an approximate. This gets us an approximate, so I can at least have some kind of plan to go on. This is the iOverlander link, and this is the Park for Night link, and this is a location explained. So basically I take the comments from iOverlander or Park for Night and I put them in this column here, and the column from the far right hand column is the date. So as you can see here, we've done this leg of this journey, and now we're on this blue box here, which is a non-travel day. We should have a non-travel day tomorrow, but we're going to go ahead. Like I say, no plan survives contact, and in this case it didn't almost automatically, because we were going to do 200 miles straight after the ferry, you know, straight after Cali, and it was just too much, so we didn't do it. We changed the plan, but now we're back on plan on this sort of row here at a place called Lule, which is where we are now. So if I was to scroll all the way down to the bottom of this, you can see the blue boxes where that's days off, and then you'll see the column at the bottom, it adds up all the days. So more about that later. Morocco maps. So you know when I said I do my research and I figure out where I want to go in Morocco, where's the best places to go in Morocco, you know, doing an internet search, and the list on the left is a list of places that were recommended by people to visit in Morocco. I then put locations on a map using Google Maps, and then the right hand side you can see, I'll just bring this over here, the right hand side you can see the route I then came up with to get me from one location to another, all the way around the route, as it were. Now in Morocco I've restricted it to 150 miles, as you can see here in this column on the Excel spreadsheet. It's 150 miles because it takes a lot longer to go places in Morocco. So 200 miles was way too much, so I've restricted to 150. But the remainder of the spreadsheet, it remains the same, you know. What I have done is, there's a lot more comments in here because the whole point of this trip was to explore Morocco. So a lot more thought process and research has gone in to find places in Morocco to visit, and you can see there in this area here we've got 2 days non-travel day because there's a lot to visit in the right hand column, and then from there another 150 miles, or in this case 116 miles, 125 miles. So it's not always 150 miles. This day is 116, 134, but this day here is only 43 miles. So it really is 150 maximum. And there's my iOverlander links and my Park for Night links. So scrolling down then, again, look at all the detail on the right hand side. This is all research, and when we get to this location, it'll just remind me to visit these locations and not miss an opportunity whilst we're on this route. And this route really covers all of the highlights of Morocco. Yeah, so scrolling down, in red it says must explore Tora Gorge. Okay, so I get to that and I know we've got a non-travel day the day after, so first priority is exploring Tora Gorge, so we'll have a look around there. And then going down, we've got 3 non-travel days here. I really want to, there's a place called Garamadur. I might not be able to get the motorhome to it, but we'll have a look. And basically, sorry, I'm on Google Maps now, but I was supposed to be showing you Tora Gorge, and I have lost it. But there you go. So back onto the spreadsheet. So this is interesting to some people and boring to others, but I'm still going to go through it because I said I would. But this is how my mind works. I like to be organised. And at the bottom, because I also am a realist, at the bottom there are I think 6 contingency days, I've called them. So if we break down, if we need more time off, if we need a rest, or we need to explore something and we haven't fitted it into the non-travel day, I can move one of these days up, and then all I've got to do to the calendar on the right hand side is re-scroll it down, re-drag it down, and Excel will just fill in the days. So basically it keeps us on track. Europe back, so at the minute our Europe back, the locations are on the left hand side, and back on the Europe back trip we are back to no more than 200 miles a day. I don't go more than 200 miles a day, then we reduce it. And on the right hand side is the actual route itself that we're supposed to go. It's a handrail and it allows me to organise my mind to find out where we're going. But this is an option because we're already thinking about going across to Italy as an alternative, and if that happens I'll just plan that when we're in Morocco. This is the Europe back, so basically this is from Tangier Med all the way back up to the UK. The dates are on the right hand side, and it's exactly the same spreadsheet. Again, we're at the 200 miles a day maximum. That day 14 miles, that day 199, 163, 75, so it never goes more than 200 miles. So as we go over to the right hand side, I'll just bring you across to here. So the totals, this is well, this gives me an indication of the cost actually, more importantly. So if you look at UK and Europe outbound, that's 19 days. Remember, I told you it auto adds up on the spreadsheet of how many days we're going to be away. 1,980 miles, because you remember I also said I put the Google mileage onto the spreadsheet and it auto adds it up as well. Morocco 65 days, 2,500 miles, and Europe back up 26 days, 1,851 miles. Again, like I said, Italy is a different thing, and we may not do that. We may do it. So I just had a warning pop up then. Underneath that is how I work out the fuel. Basically, UK litres per gallon is 4.54 litres in a gallon in the UK. Average motorhome miles per gallon 16 miles per gallon. Europe fuel cost in litres is £1.50, and then it's I obviously work it out in euros. Estimated cost per gallon is £6.81 per gallon, and average food cost per day for 2 people is £20. So I've guessed that we can spend £20 a day on food. You know, that might build up as we, over the last 3 days we spent something like £35 on food, and it's lasted 3 days. We've also brought some stuff from the UK, and as that runs out we'll be spending more on food. So that's an average cost. Over on the right hand side, it says UK outbound ferry, £105, that's what we paid. The ferry crossing to Morocco, I've estimated £280, and coming back £280. UK ferry back £105. The diesel, now remember the other spreadsheet where it adds up all the mileage? Well, this spreadsheet adds up the mileage and gives me a cost based on the figures that have been put in the measurements. So total diesel over the mileage recovered is £2,715. So that again gives me an indication of how much I need to do that mileage. The one below it, food, £20 per day, is £2,200, and that's over obviously the time we're away. And the time we're away is a total months of 3.67 months. Total days 110, total miles 6,379. And then below that, insurance is covered in the bank. Mobile data for 5 months is £250. Campsites, I've put £500 approximate, because we just don't know from day to day how much this campsite's going to cost. As we've come down through France, it's been free every night because we've stayed at Airs. That's probably not going to last as we go through Spain, Portugal, and it's probably not going to be the same in Morocco, so I've allowed £500 for that. And incidentals, approximately £1,000, and that's a lot of money, but we don't know what we need on top of the campsites and what have you. So that's a total of £7,435 it's going to cost working on these figures over 3.67 months. But the incidentals is £1,000, the campsites is £500, so those two are probably going to change, but the remainder, if the diesel stays the same cost and the food stays the same cost, we're talking about £7,500. Diesel is definitely the most expensive cost, as we found out already on this trip. Cost calculator, that was just a cost calculator of the things I did to the motorhome, not included in this, and that's basically an introduction on how I plan my journeys through Europe or anywhere basically.